I want to move to my third question, which was about loneliness and the times we might feel lonely even if we are around people. I don't know if you relate to that at all.
I think so. My co-founder in the agency, he told me a lot of times and kept coming back to it that one of my problems was that I was too far ahead in relation to where the market was. So feeling alone with your thoughts, it might be he was just flattering me, but it was something he brought up on a recurring basis saying, yeah, this is not now. This is something the market is ready for in 3 to 5 years if it continues in that direction. So being somewhere where your curiosity kind of push that you skip like a stone. So one thing takes the nest and you're just skipping forward and you're standing in a situation where you really clearly can see something that nobody else necessarily can see. You can feel really alone there. That's been one thing. And the other side of that, which is kind of strength as well, it has been in relations to commercial thinking. So being able to look at something and saying, okay, this is a business process. What is the commercial objective of this and how can we support that? And then talking to people. I was teaching a class in Sweden in commercial analytics. And the first thing I did on the first day, I showed them a website and I said, okay, what is their business? Having them reflect, saying, okay, this is an e-com website, they sell stuff. Yeah, but it's actually more complicated than that. What is their business? And trying to see how far you had to push people for them to understand there was a business behind it at all. But when it comes to money and finances, we have had situations where we have 40 people here. We have 10 customers who have not paid their bill yet. So technically we have all the money in the bank, but it's not there. And now we have to pay salaries. So yeah, I could talk to my co-founder, but we already kind of agreed on that. So feeling alone in that situation, you cannot go to the employee and explain. You just work around it and make sure they get their salary. So that's an extreme sense of loneliness, and sometimes also making tough decisions. So being challenged. But it's also one of the things that I get to talk to people about now. So one of the things that I've seen is that if you're a manager in a lot of organizations, you have your area of responsibility, but you don't necessarily have somebody to talk to about the decisions. And that's kind of the same reflection. So you sit as a CMO, having to decide around marketing, what is the strategy for next year? You cannot really go to your people because they expect you to already know this and be on top of it. And you cannot go up in the organization because they expect you to be on top of it and they don't care and they don't have the knowledge fear. So you sitting there alone and having nobody to talk to, being that person coming in and say, hey, I can come and spar with you. Actually trying to open up for that and saying, you don't have to be alone with this. I think that's a lot of loneliness sitting with decision-making in organizations that you don't really think about. Because you think that when you move up in the situation, then you will have a network and you might have friends and stuff, but they won't necessarily spend their time deciding what you're supposed to do with your job. And they will also, in a lot of cases, assume that you're on top of it, that you know what to do, that if you're the CEO of the company, then you became the CEO because you know, but very often you don't. So who can you talk to, right? So it's very much tied into the decision making.
That's very true.